Canada, the second largest country on Earth, famous for its epic wilderness. From the Rocky Mountains to the Great White North. Breathtaking, rugged, and immense. It's a rich and varied wonderland which supports some of North America's most iconic species. Theirs is a world of extremes. Their life at the mercy of the elements. Every season brings new challenges. It'll take strength and tenacity, courage and resilience, skill and good fortune, just to make it through a year in the wild. December. Days are at their shortest. With less sunlight, temperatures start to plummet, transforming both land and sea. Surviving the next few months will test every nerve and sinew. In Canada's east lies Hudson Bay, a vast body of water twice the size of France. On the bay's western shore, near the town of Churchill, a male polar bear is restless. Half-starved, having not eaten for 5 months, he is waiting for winter to deliver salvation. When the sea freezes over, he can head out onto the ice to hunt seals. He's not alone. Polar bears are gathering from miles around. They know that this western section of the Hudson Bay is normally the first to freeze, allowing them to hunt earlier. But this year, the ice has been slow to form, denying them access to a vital meal. Seals are also waiting for the sea ice to form, so they can haul out and give birth. Both must wait. The ice can only form once the sea temperature is low enough. It starts with pancakes of ice. Which grow and gather Driven by winds and waves, they pack together to create a platform several feet thick. But this year, southerly winds are keeping the ice way out at sea. And the seals many miles offshore. He doesn't have the energy for a long swim, so is trapped on the land, slowly starving. To save energy, he's been doing very little. Now, it's time to stretch tendons and flex muscles. So that he's nimble enough once the ice returns. If it doesn't come soon, he won't survive the winter. "50 miles inland from the bears, in a traditional polar bear denning area, a pregnant female is about to start hibernating. She's hardly eaten since summer and must now lock herself away in a snow cave to give birth. When she next sees the sun in February, she'll have cubs in tow. Together, they'll start the long and treacherous walk to the coast, so they too can take advantage of the bounty brought by the sea ice. But that is still 3 months off. Temperatures are still dropping, and animals that don't hibernate have no choice but to tough winter out. For this snowshoe hare, the priorities are simple. Find enough food to eat and avoid being eaten. Its winter fur helps it to stay hidden, but it must always remain on high alert. In winter, Arctic foxes quarter vast tracts of land, looking for a meal both above and below the snow. Their fur is more than just camouflage. It's twice as thick as their summer coat, and a dense layer of underfur keeps even the coldest Arctic air at bay. Ahead lies one of the most brutal winters on the planet, and only the best adapted will make it through. On the shores of the Hudson Bay, an Arctic blast drives the temperature down to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Most animals hunker down on days like this. Not ptarmigan. They face the Arctic winter head-on. To survive each bitterly cold night, they must keep eating. Back in the autumn, the ptarmigan's brown and black plumage help them blend in with the tundra vegetation, so they could hide from predators like this red fox. As autumn ended, they started to molt, growing new white feathers, making them invisible in the snow. Feathery feet allow them to move swiftly over soft snow, and their camouflage keeps them well hidden, but only if they stay on the ground. They eke a meager living from willow twigs and buds. But staying warm out here burns calories. For ptarmigan, it's a day-to-day existence. As evening approaches, they head higher up the willows, where buds are more tightly packed. Up here, they stand out, drawing the attention of a hungry young snowy owl. Ptarmigan are not her usual prey, but she's desperate. Keen eyes help her detect the slightest movement. She locks on. With a 5-foot wingspan, she prefers to hunt in the open. She hugs the ground to avoid detection. But ptarmigan work together, and when the danger is spotted, the whole flock heads for cover. If this snowy owl is to survive the winter, she must hone her hunting skills. As for the ptarmigan, they must hope they've eaten enough to see them through the long night ahead. A quarter of Canada is covered in forest. It spans the entire continent, from Yukon in the west to Newfoundland in the east. This is the boreal forest, a belt of trees dominated by conifers. "90% of birds that spent summer here have left for warmer climes. And now, the forests are silent. The tracks of an inquisitive fox and a wisp of warm air reveal a beaver lodge. Beavers maintain their lodges year-round. Come winter, it's all that stands between them and certain death, either from the extreme cold or predators. Their pond frozen, they're locked away under the ice. To survive the winter, they must have stockpiled enough food. Two months ago, temperatures started to drop. To help see them through the winter, the beavers gathered as many green branches as they could. And stashed them under the ice. They tried to keep the pond open, but ultimately, their efforts proved futile. The ice closed up, locking the beavers away from fresh food until spring. Outside, it's like the Arctic. Scavengers search the snowfields, searching for animals that have succumbed to the cold. Inside their lodge, the beavers are warm. Thick walls of mud and wood keep the elements out. They'll survive as long as they have stored enough food. And winter doesn't drag on for too long. "900 miles northwest of the Beaver Lodge, on the western shore of the Hudson Bay, lies Warpusk National Park, where the temperature has dropped to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Freezing the snow, locking away the caribou's food, forcing them to keep searching. If they're to eat, they must find areas of soft snow, where they can reach the plants and lichens below. The old and the weak will struggle and gradually succumb to starvation, making them easy prey for wolves. Who follow the caribou herds. Preying on the vulnerable. But it's not just the wolves that benefit. The frozen remains of a kill. An Arctic fox picks what it can from the bones. Mere morsels. But it's better than nothing. By following the wolves, he gets access to food that would otherwise be out of reach. But he mustn't get too close, or he risks becoming prey himself. "50 miles inland from the Hudson Bay foxes, the polar bear mother emerges from hibernation. She checks the coast is clear with her keen sense of smell. She cleans her fur in the snow. It's her first stretch since locking herself away 3 months ago. Since then, she's given birth to 2 tiny cubs. This is one of their first forays into the great outdoors. Short walks help them build muscle and familiarize them to their new world. They usually return to the den. But their mother is hungry. She has not eaten for 4 months and has lost almost half her body weight. She needs what little fat she has left to make milk for her cubs. She must walk 50 miles to the coast. Unless she gets seal meat soon, the whole family will starve. She dug her den far from the shore to keep her cubs safe from male polar bears, who will kill and eat cubs that are not their own. Her journey is long, and the coast many days away. But she can only travel as fast as her cubs will allow. At just 3 months old, they tire quickly and need regular feeding. She prepares a temporary nursery at the base of a tree. Sheltered from the wind, the cubs can play. Born smaller than a human fist, these cubs have already piled on 20 pounds, thanks to their mother's fat-rich milk. But she's running on empty and must eat soon. Almost half of all cubs born never see their first birthday. But she'll do anything to protect her family. If they can survive this life or death journey towards the sea ice, there's a good chance they'll spend the next 2 years together. Late February. The sea ice now covers almost 6 million square miles of ocean. From the North Pole, 2,500 miles along Canada's east coast. It's the perfect nursery for 250,000 harp seal pups. While their mums are out fishing, pups hunker down, hungry and vulnerable. With so much sea ice and so many pups to choose from, it's a wonder the mothers can find their way back. They read the ice floes like a map. And once close, listen for the cry of their own pup. Always returning with pinpoint accuracy. Milk is too precious to waste on the wrong pup, so she double checks with a sniff and then lets him feed. She'll only nurse him until he's 12 days old. That's when she must leave, find a partner and breed again. So it's essential he grows up fast. Milk, twice as rich as double cream, helps him pile on up to 6 pounds per day. His development is rapid, but it has to be. Time is against him. His sea ice nursery is only temporary. Every day, it gets a little thinner. Melt too soon, and it will spell disaster. Just 8 years ago, the sea ice broke up overnight. while the pups were too young to swim. Cast adrift, they were pitched into the sea and washed away by waves. It's thought that every pup born that year drowned. So the sooner they can swim, the better. His mother tries gently, coaxing him in. But he's not convinced. So she dives out of sight. Which does the trick. His first swimming lesson. He stays close to the surface, under the watchful eye of his mother. But he won't stay in for long. His white baby fur may keep him warm on the ice, but it does little to insulate him in the water. In a few more weeks, he'll have grown an adult coat and a thick layer of blubber to keep him warm. Like all this year's seal pups, he just needs the sea ice to last a little longer. March, in the boreal forests of southeast Canada. Late winter snowfall cloaks the conifers. Their cone shape and bendy branches help them cope with heavy snow. "10 feet of snow falls here annually, making it hard for animals to move around on the ground. A young male porcupine has struggled through 5 months of brutal winter. This fresh covering of snow makes life even harder. He's already used up most of his fat reserves and must make daily foraging trips if he's to see the spring. The deep snow has locked away shrubs and grasses, and most trees have dropped their leaves. So he must travel further and for longer to feed. The more time he's on the ground, the more exposed he is to predators. Especially as he's still young and his quills are not yet fully grown. His only food is high up in the tree canopy. Powerful, stout legs propel him upwards. Long claws and leathery foot pads provide grip. He strips off the bark with his powerful incisors to get to the softer layer beneath. But it's still only slightly better than eating cardboard. The outer branches are generally softer and easier to chew, but reaching them is risky. If the branch breaks, it could be fatal. A study revealed that 30% of porcupines have broken bones, probably caused by falling from a height. But getting down is just as dangerous. Birch bark is thin and peels away from the trunk easily. His broad, flat tail gives him extra grip and acts like a brake. Back on the ground, he's vulnerable again and still hungry. So he heads for a conifer. Pine needles are toxic to most animals, but not to porcupines. Instead, they're an essential source of nutrients. As evening falls and the temperature drops, he puffs up his woolly underfur, trapping warm air next to his body. After foraging for 8 hours, it's time to head back to his den, where he can digest a bellyful of bark. Out of the bitter wind and the reach of nocturnal predators, who are starting to wake up and hunt. On the edge of the forest, a great grey owl surveys her territory. With a 5-foot wingspan and standing 2 feet tall, she is America's largest owl and a formidable predator. But she's not interested in the porcupine. She specializes in hunting smaller rodents. She needs to catch 7 every day just to stay alive. But the rodents are sheltered under the deep snow to avoid the freezing air. Tunnels let them creep from sleeping quarters to feeding grounds without being spotted. But she's not just looking. She's listening. Her facial feathers funnel sound directly into her ears, helping her pinpoint voles up to 50 meters away, even under 2 feet of snow. Swooping in, low and fast. She hovers to get a final fix. But the vole gets away. She must quickly reset and prepare to hunt again. Every miss costs her dear, especially this year, with snow and ice slow to loosen their grip. Winter brought a stark beauty to the wilds of Canada. But under the cloak of white lay months of hardship for the inhabitants of this vast wilderness. Extreme cold and meager pickings took their toll. But Canadian animals are resilient. And even with the season at its most brutal, new life emerged. Polar bear cubs took their first glimpse of the world outside of their den, and so began their first year in the wild.